What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Not Just Football with Cam Heyward. I'm Cam, there's Hayden, and we have a special guest, one of my best friends on the team for all these years, Mr. Tyson Alualu. Bro, appreciate you coming on today.
Nah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I had to get you in. We got a win against the Rams, and I figured we got to have my dude on as we approach Jacksonville. Did you watch the game?
Perfect timing. Yep. Yeah, I watch every week, man. Definitely tuned in. So I'm glad we're stacking up some wins.
But what'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the Rams game?
I thought it was good. I thought having Deontay back, I thought that opened up a lot for the offense. And I know it's not where they want to be right now, but I think they're heading in the right direction. You know, that'll just open up doors for the run game. And at the same time, open some, shots to take at GP. So, I enjoyed watching this past game, and I think, they'll just continue to take steps forward in that on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, man, this is just such a joy to watch. You guys ball out week in, week out to keep this team competitive. Just hoping that we can continue to do that in all phases and. Hopefully we hit our stride and just continue to stack those wins.
I want you to give me your thoughts on some of the unsung heroes like a Keanu Benton or a Larry Ogunjobi or a Mon Adams. What do you think about those three guys?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I got connections with those guys. Those are my guys. So every time I watch the field or a game, it's always keeping an eye on, whether it's Mon or Nuke out there, they're playing some good ball. And like you said, I don't see them as unsung heroes because, I'm paying attention to, what they're doing on the field and how much of a factor, they are in making this defense go. So, but, it's exciting to watch Keanu, play well as a rookie. This is already tough as it is playing in this league, but for him to have the success and winning his one-on-one matchups, whether versus the run or pass, is good to see. He's definitely the future of playing that interior D line.
What's the hardest thing about being a defensive tackle or a nose tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think the mental part of the game, understanding that in this scheme, I know it changed a little bit over the years, but from understanding when you got to take two blocks to free a linebacker, and understanding when you got to cause havoc and make plays. I think the hardest thing is as a D tackle in general or nose tackle is the consistency of stacking up good performance to good performance. Because when you stand out as a D tackle, and this very well, teams start game planning for you and trying to eliminate you affecting the game that way. So, if you cause havoc in one game, whether it's you making the plays or your defense playing well, they try to limit how much you can affect the game from an interior standpoint. So when you as a D tackle can continue to make those plays, that's when you get to that elite level. And you've been doing that, Larry been doing that. So it's exciting to watch.
You say that, but I gotta say one thing that really sticks out from our nose tackles over the years is the unselfishness. You look at guys like Casey Hampton, even look at Javon Hargrave. I felt like he didn't get the due he was deserved. And then you watch him go to these other teams and just create havoc, and he's doing it. I think you deserve that love too. I feel like playing nose tackle, a guy like Mon Adams, you guys take double teams, triple teams, and so that's unselfishness. Like even today, like I'll bring this up because I wanted to talk about this. I asked Tyson to come on the podcast, and I asked him last week And he told me he didn't respond to me. And I'm like, this is weird. Tyson always responds to me. And so then I asked him 2 days ago, and I'm like, hey, bro, did you get my text? And he's like, oh, I thought you were asking for somebody else. I thought you just, sent the wrong text. I'm like, bro, I want to talk to you. Like, you are a great player, and you don't always have to be unselfish. You deserve some love because you played the game the right way. You did things the right way. And the Pittsburgh Steelers were very lucky to have a guy like you.
No, I appreciate that. Let me share my side of the story. I just, got that text because I see Cam. We work out twice a week together with our trainer. Shout out to Cole. But so I seen him. He just texted me out of the blue, and I didn't want it to be awkward where, I respond. He'd be like, "Oh, damn, I did text the wrong guy." So I was just waiting for the follow-up text, the second text, whether it was a question mark or something to respond, and that was not till 2 days ago. And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, I'll do it, man. I'm honored." But as far as the nose tackle position, it has evolved over the years. The Steelers has been known to have that guy in the middle to take on blocks and have other guys make plays around them. But it's a new day and age, but it's just cool, man, just to see Mon develop into the role he's taking, because he's one of those guys, if he played in a 4-3, would make a lot more plays, and he's finding his niche to kind of do both, where he's certain plays he'll be unselfish to have linebackers fill in and take a TFL, but he's causing a lot of havoc, and that's what he does best: penetrate and make others feed off of him, or other people make it right. And when you're doing that on the defense, man, it's fun when everybody's making plays, and I was blessed to be a part of that, and I just still enjoy watching the game that way.
Give me a TJ Watt story.
TJ Watt, man, this is stuff you're supposed to prepare me ahead of time to think about. There's so many cool stories, but I feel like some of the best stories is always what we're doing in the locker room, competing at anything, whether it's board games that we play in training camp, card games. I think the best thing, or not the best thing, but what I would want to share about TJ is no matter what you're playing, any game that you're playing against him, whether you win or lose, a lot of times he's on the winning end because he's good at a lot of things. But when you do get a win on him, I just love the satisfaction of not letting him get his get back. If you beat him at a board game, or some game that he brings, like that Binyo game he brought in, if you beat him, he says run it back, and if you say no, I'm good, I'll take my win. Oh man, his whole day will be messed up because of that.
Claims that he is the reason you ended up not going back to Jacksonville, and I think 2021, and stayed in Pittsburgh. Can you please tell us that story?
Yes, Cam probably should tell the story.
You go ahead and tell your side.
Big of impact he made in that decision, but so after the discussions of going back and forth with Pittsburgh, they knew I wanted to stay here. In Jacksonville, it just kept upping my guaranteed money, and it would be more money because it was Florida. So that all played a factor in, wanting to go back to Jacksonville and play there. But so when I was supposed to fly over and take my visit and sign the deal, the day before I found out I had COVID. I had family in town, and this is when you have to get tested before you fly back home. So before they was going to go, they said, hey, somebody got tested positive. So I was like, oh, now I got to get tested. So when I got tested positive. I called Jacksonville. I was like, oh, I can't come. There's quarantine, take your 10 days, and then you can come when you're cleared. And just that in that 10-day span, I guess Camden found out there's like, hey, he didn't go and sign yet, even though the news broke that I agreed to sign there. So I was talking to Cam Dunbar, and they kept calling me like saying, hey, it's not official that we still got a shot, man. We want you to stay here. And it's been like discussions that me and my wife had where we were like, man, is that the right move to go back? We want to be here. So Cam and Dunbar being in my ear and planting that seed of, it's better to stay here. It just kind of made sense. So they made that difficult decision to call Jacksonville back. People that I knew there that was so excited. I had to break the bad news and kind of ruined a few relationships that I had with some of the coaches there. But at the end of the day, I made the best decision for my own career and my family, and the rest is history. I'm extremely blessed to have stayed and been a Pittsburgh Steelers the past 2 years.
Okay, before I explain my side of the story, I'll say this: if you end up in Jacksonville, you would have been getting kicked by Urban Meyer. So I think you were okay.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. That was definitely a tough year. I mean, the guys that I still knew on the team, Miles Jack, who came over there, like, Ty, I'm glad you didn't come, man. You would have retired like mid-season.
So let's talk about one of your other friends, though, Marshawn Lynch, all the way from college. What were you thinking when he was riding on the golf cart on the middle of the field?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy, but I mean, if anybody could do it, it's only him. If it was anybody else on the team, they'd probably get in trouble, fined, kicked off, something. But that's Money Lynch, man. He can do whatever he wants when he plays the way he plays. Now he got his nickname Beast Mode. But everything that you see on TV, like, I know he's doing a lot of like commercials and stuff now, but that's who he is. That's his personality. He's not like fronting for no camera, and he kind of lives like life that way. He does a lot of crazy things on TV, but he's such a humble dude. As a teammate, always kicking it with everybody, no matter you're a starter, freshman, and that's kind of what makes that guy pretty cool.
Do you have a funny story along with Marshawn Lynch besides the golf cart story?
I don't know if it's like funny stories. It's every time he'll come back. When we was in college and he was already at Buffalo in the league, he would always like pop up like during season. Like we would be like, isn't this guy supposed to be like not even his bye week? And he come in with his like hoodie, like you can only see like this much of his face. He'd be like, "Damn, that's money." And we go talk to him. He's like, "Yeah, I got to get back. I got to go practice." Like the next day, and he would come over like just to smell the Bay Area air, and so he can go back and kind of be refreshed for like practice or something. And this, I don't know. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. Just he flew all the way from Buffalo to Oakland just to like come grab a bite to eat, say what's up, and go right back. But I mean, he did that a few times. I don't know how that was possible, or if he was getting fined for missing something. But that's the like Marshawn I remember.
Tickets to the game, merch, meals at iconic restaurants, stays at Caesar's Palace. All this can be yours when you bet with Caesar Sportsbook. Win or lose, every bet earns reward credits, which you can redeem across the empire. Now, if you haven't started yet, register using code OMAHAFULL and then place your first bet, up to $1,250. If you win, great. You keep those winnings. But if you lose, you'll get your stake back as a bonus bet.
There was a time, it was like Tua was, the guy, but Wobble was coming on. And Coach T, they love like stirring up stuff. They love putting us against each other. And you know where I'm going with this. And we're out on the field And before practice started, Mike T goes, if you're a starter, you'll stay out there. If you're a starter, you won't come off the field. And so, it goes from they're calling out Oki. You got 3D linemen. So it's me, Tuitt, and Hargrave. And, the alpha in everybody is like, who's coming off the field. So then we go to Nickel. He calls Nickel. And, Dunbar and Mike T have hyped it up enough where all three guys think they're not coming off the field. And then it was just this awkwardness of just, all right, who's coming off? And I kid you not, it felt like it was like 10 minutes of just us staring at each other like, who's coming off? Because I'm not coming off. And, in my head, I'm like, y'all two fight it out. But both of those two were probably like, Cam, you need to go because they're both looking at me too. So, that just speaks to the alpha in those guys because I felt like both of those guys were truly starters and weren't going to settle for just being another guy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's cool to be reminded of stories like that. But, I mean, we know Tuitt. We know who Tuitt is. Tuitt is the ultimate alpha. Everybody has some bit of alpha, but Tuitt has that to the next level where he feels like disrespected if you do something. But, that's what made Tuitt great. Thought that way. And then even when like certain plays, when we had to go get Tuitt off the field, be like Tuitt, and Tuitt is playing deaf. He's like, I'm not, I can't hear anybody calling. I like Tuitt. I got it. They tell me to get you. So when that situation came about where I think Tuitt had some injuries, Wob ended up playing a lot and started killing it. When Tuitt got healthy, we already was anticipating some of that friction between those guys. I feel like they stopped talking, almost like they wasn't friends. And in the moment, I was like, I kind of blame the coaches for this. Like, I blame Mike T. I blame Dunbar. I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, I don't understand why we don't just have a meeting of like, okay, this is you're coming back, you're starting because you was hurt, but they didn't do any of that. Normally,
know how it goes. It's two dogs, one bone. 2 dogs, 1 bone. That's how they treat this stuff.
Normally that happens, but in this case, there was like, nah, let's let this play out. So we find out like who is the real alpha dog, and it was just conversations that was happening to individual people. Like they was telling Tuitt one thing, they was telling Wob the other thing. They was telling Wob the same thing. So it's like we'll see who comes out on top, and then.
They both just got hungrier. They ended up hungrier and then just kept dominating.
Right.
So
make the decision. But
as a nose tackle, how do you stop the tush push of the Eagles?
It's almost I don't want to say impossible, but it's like you have to anticipate and jump before they jump. And I've seen it, I think this past week, where people was jumping off sides, like versus any sneak or any 4th and 1. Now people are like on first down, the D line or O line, whoever beats each other first. I mean, it's always low man wins, but it's the low man that has good technique. But from a defensive standpoint, I think you have to line up and just fire off, almost hoping that it's off first down and that you get a better knockback. But it's the way they do it in Philly, man. We've been part of those games, and Mike T likes to call you out on film if your legs are rolling back. And seeing whose fault it is, who's getting pushed back. But at the end of the day, I think it's whoever can time up that or even cheat that snap and beat them to it.
Why can't you just do what the offenses do and just shove a linebacker into them like they're doing to you?
Because why do you need to shove a linebacker? You're trying to make a tackle. That
Fill
doesn't
the gap
do
and shove it. Just stuff it up. Just plug the hole.
All right, well then you go be a coach and you tell.
I mean, listen, nobody's trying it. Like, let's go here, man. Like Tyson, if everybody could do it as well as the Eagles, you think it would be outlawed?
Yeah. If everybody could do it as good as them, then that would. I think they would kind of consider that kind of cheating. But the fact that they're always getting, and converting 4th and 1s, and other people are getting stopped. It's kind of hard to rule against it.
I'll say one thing though. I'll say one thing. So like we had the right game plan for it. We just didn't have the right execution for it. And execution is a big thing. One, your D linemen have to be almost submarining in. So when we talk about that, it's like a basic crawl underneath the center's legs to not let them push forward. But then 2, you got to have linebackers either flowing over top, and then you got to have safeties to trigger. The thing they do off of that's always made it very hard is they have a pass play or they have the toss play. So once you start to crowd that pocket, all they're going to do is flip it out. And they're not always set when they do it. I think they've gotten better at it this year because there's been officiating. But in times before, it always felt like they would have guys off sides because they weren't even establishing a line of scrimmage. They were just getting lined up and pushing forward. So I think those are things you have to clean up, but they are pretty successful, and you got to give them props when they're able to do that. You got a son who's going to have to make an important decision soon of where he's going to play football. You want to go ahead and tell us where he's going?
Your guess is as good as mine, man.
Oh, don't do that. You know.
And I've told you this, like, it didn't matter where we took Ray for visits this summer. Like, every school we went to, he was like, oh, man, this is the school. Then the next school we visit, he's like, Dad, I think this is the one. So it's tough to get a read on, like, where where he'll be committed to. And at the end of the day, it's still his decision, but recruiting, man, is so different than it was, when we were coming out.
What's different?
Everything, man. NIL, where you're getting recruited now, where the interest of, where you're getting recruited from, because of, now we need people that are more experienced and play now. So now they're looking more to junior colleges who's, older guys that can come in, plug and play now, where, now a lot of high school athletes are kind of getting the second hand of,
oh, wow.
What I mean? Of, we want you, but we have this guy that's coming in. So, Ray's kind of dealing with that now with, a lot of schools that's still recruiting, but he's just trying to focus on playing ball and, having his best opportunity. And, whoever's there, when it's time to sign, then he'll pick, whatever his best option for him, not just top schools, but the best fit for, how coaches are trying to use him. That's kind of the talk that I'm trying to give him now, like, because college recruiting is like all the glitz and glamour of like, hey, look at our facilities, look at the players we got, look at their NIL deals. We got the top of the line facilities. I tell him he got to look past that and see, where's my best fit from a coaching standpoint, like who's going to coach me to play my style of football. So there's a lot of factors, but it's exciting to like go through it with him, but it's kind of sad at the same time, especially for my wife. I mean, knowing like, man, this guy really about to be a man out of the house like in months. So just trying to enjoy every moment, not trying to look too far ahead of like, man, where is he going to be? Just, when he come home from practice, it's, my wife making him a meal and just trying to cherish every little memory, we can create before he heads out.
Is any NIL program providing babysitting for the Alualu family? Because there's so many kids.
They need to, man. They need to. We'll look into that and see our options.
Last question, and it's a special one. What's your favorite Steelers moment?
Oh, I never thought about my favorite Steelers moment. Because I feel like since I've like became a Steeler, man, my whole mindset and way of thinking of like what the NFL should have been like it was just an honor and a blessing just to like put on the black and gold because of the history. And then when I came here and like the standard and expectation, just the conversations that I was having with guys in the locker room was just different. So it's tough to say there's one moment that kind of stood out for me. But it was just the fact that I was a Steeler. And of course I had, a few good games and like remember those great memories, but it was like the locker room of guys that kind of showed me, what it's like to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and the standard that we have to, that's upheld no matter who's in the game. That in itself is such a big blessing. And like, I tell that to guys that came to us as Steelers from other places, or especially the guys that are young and brought up in this organization. Like, it's easy to take this for granted or take it lightly because they haven't been other places, or this is not the normal of what an NFL locker room or organization is. It was a real family. But for me, it would be playing at home, playing in front of our families and our fans that's the thing that I'm gonna remember the most, especially when crunch time and defense got to get a stop and they play renegade. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'll always remember and cherish my time as a Steeler.
Mm-hmm. One last thing.
Yep.
Give me a prediction of what the game's going to be this week. The score of the game is going to be this week.
Prediction. Well, definitely taking the Steelers over the Jags.
Write it down.
Ooh. I'm hoping that this will be a coming out game for offense. So I want to say, they're going to put up 35 points.
35 points. Love it.
And I say our defense, I don't like it, but I'll give Jacksonville 17.
That's a lot of
points. I don't know. That's random.
A lot of points, Ty. I don't know how I feel about that.
You're mad about him giving you a 2-score victory?
Isn't
35-17?
The standard is high when you play.
I'll sign up for that today, right now.
Gotta give a little love to Jacksonville, man.
Ty, you need to cut the loss with the Jacksonville Jaguars, bro. Let it go.
Isn't 17 the number where that's the most we could give up?
Yes, that was the most we can give up.
And that's why I give that number, because when you do the checks the next day, it's still a check for the defense. So so that's the max that I would give them. But I'm really hoping that our offense, man, just puts everything together and everybody ball out.
Player of the game, who is it? Prediction.
Player of the game. You coming back this game?
No, dang, bro. Why did you have to do that?
Thank you for breaking news.
Wow.
He's not coming back.
Wow. You gotta just oh my God.
No, this is a special game, man. This is gonna be the game that put in Aaron Smith, Debo. So you gotta show up. But I'll say player of the game this game. Oof. I pick two people, or I gotta pick one?
You can take one offense, one defense. How about that?
All right. Offense. As much as I want to go with Deontay, I'm gonna go with Kenny. Because Deontay will probably ball out, but I'm hoping he also spread the ball and has a great game for himself, for the team. And then on defense, dang, there's too many to choose, man, from the guys up front, man. Everybody, if I choose one guy, everybody's gonna get mad.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
No, so I'm not gonna choose.
Oh my God.
No. I'm not going to say I'm multiple people, but I'm going to go with my dog, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Smart.
Having a game, doing his, just playing ball the way he played, relentless. But
get that first INT of the season.
Minkah is a ball hawk, so getting back to just what he do normally, definitely want to see that happen this week. And Minkah know it. Every time I call, he gonna get a pick. It kind of happens, just kind of how this, when I was on the team. So hopefully this is some good vibes headed Mink's way, man, to get his pick.
Dang, Mink, he took care of you. Okay, well, I need you to pick me next week. All right, how about that?
You need to be on the field. I asked you.
So wait, Cam. Next week we're back next week.
That, right?
No, just relax.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Just checking.
Let's wrap up this show, okay? First of all, I want to say thank you to Tyson for coming on. You were a great guest. You gave us some great stories. But best of luck, and I can't wait to hear about the decision Tyree has to make in choosing college. You can just send them our way and we can put them on the pod so you can release right then and there. So
nice.
You let us know, we'll make it happen. But thank you so much for coming on today.
No, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Tyson.
And now it's time for a special segment that everybody looks forward to, a short time with a long snapper. How you doing today, Christian Kuntz?
Oh, I'm doing great. Coming off a big win, our off day. Do people actually look forward to this time? Like that's a good sign.
To an off day? You don't look forward to it?
No, to Christian Kuntz.
Get this show. Thank you, Hayden.
No, yeah. I was trying to be flattering, but
no, you gave me a compliment. Hayden, he gave me a compliment.
They do. Listen, I know I look forward to it every week, so I'm happy you're here for sure.
Guys, keep your pants on. We're good. Okay. Okay.
Someone's got to be nice to him, Cam. Someone's got to be nice to him.
Okay, he was nice to me there. He was nice. I got his ass there.
Well, Coach, you had a pretty good weekend. Your snaps were average, but you got a little bit of social media time. How did you feel about being on Blueface's social media?
That was the most ridiculous football game I've ever been a part of in my life. And dude, the story lines up even better. Like, usually there's 2 kicking nets on each side of the sideline for us to warm up on. But like, ironically, this is the first game all year that there was only 1 kicking net and it was on that sideline. So Press and I and Boz are warming up like over in the corner, like at the end of the sideline, like right there. And they have those like club levels or those like sideline level seats. We look to our left and it was a whole different kind of party than what's supposed to be going on in a football game. Like, it was going down over there.
And then didn't you say he asked for your jersey after the game?
He did ask for my jersey. He was just asking for anybody's jersey, but he wanted actually really wanted Joey Porter's jersey. And he was like, yo, tell 24 to come over here after this. And I was like, you were just asking for my jersey. Now you're asking for Porter's. This is messed up.
I think he was more excited to see that we had a black punter. I think that surprised him more than
he was excited about that. Kuntz, did you know who he was? Do you know who Blueface is?
I don't know. I've definitely heard of music or like heard a song or two. Cam, don't give some face. Like I haven't. I've definitely heard a Blueface song.
You've probably heard it in the locker room, if anything.
Yeah, probably. But I recognized what he looked like. Like I recognize that face. Like you can't forget what that guy looks like. I mean, he's an icon.
Yeah.
I'll
say this, and then we can move on. But all I'll say is, I looked back there, and all I saw were ones going in the air, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta get back focused on the game because this doesn't concern me at all."
Dude, they were right on like the 15-yard line, and we have like the sideline goes to the 30. So you got to go up to the 15 to snap it at 15, or Press has to stand back there and catch it 15. It did not belong at a football game, Hayden. It did not.
What did you see exactly? Can you give me anything? What did you see exactly?
I don't know if I'm allowed to give details like that, but let's just say like
This is a Disney show.
This is a Disney show, dude. They weren't they weren't dressed appropriately at all. If they were dressed at all, they weren't dressed appropriately. And yeah, it smelt bad, like in it or around that area. Like some must say, it smells like a skunk. And I know
Oh, I think I know what you're referring to. I got it. Yeah.
I'm being serious. Then,
Yeah.
like even guys on the sideline said it smelled like skunk or whatever. They were smelling. But
Okay, speaking of skunks, let's move on to some special teams, okay?
all right.
Did you happen to see Matt Prater lose it on the sideline this week?
I didn't see it, but I did hear. But I heard about it.
What are your thoughts?
Was he yelling at his holder and was he yelling at the holder? Or
I think the holder, I think the laces were in is what happened. Then he kind of like the ball just sailed on him when he kicked it.
If Boz is yelling at us, like, what are we gonna say, dude? Like, it was probably what, like, I don't want to say it's well deserved. I mean, it's probably a private conversation you should have with your holder, not on national TV. But
So, have you ever gotten chewed out by Boswell?
I mean, I've definitely gotten like a stern, like, get it down, dudes, or like get it up, like. Not like a yell in my face, but it's been like a better get that shit up, dude. Seriously.
Did you happen to see Myles Garrett block the kick?
I did see that.
What would you have
That
done
was
to stop
ridiculous.
him?
There's nothing you could do. You're not getting me in some trap question. That's the last thing. Like, what do I need? Him lined up in the A next time? No,
Yeah.
he's go out onto the wing, right to tight end wing position, right in your
Hey,
gap.
bro, don't bring him out to me. I'm good. I already got to take 3 people as it is. You take one up the middle.
No.
How happy are you that he didn't try that on you?
I mean, we always like practice alert jumper. Like Danny, thinks we have a key on whoever can jump over the line, which usually he does. I'm happy it doesn't happen. Like you got to get up in your stance. I don't want that to ever happen to me. Like that's a nightmare.
Do you know what you do in that moment when it happens?
I just
You
run
flip his ass
directly
on his
back.
neck. That's what you
Yeah.
do. You catch his legs,
right.
and then you flip him on his neck, and then never try it again. That's all you
stand
got.
up like.
I guess that's one way to do it. That's one way
Yeah,
to
I
do
don't
it.
like your technique though. We're gonna work on that.
That was a good get up. I mean, audio can't see it obviously, but video that was quick. He got up quick out of that.
Hey, Hayden just said that was a good get up. Like
Yeah,
I got
get
up.
up. It was a good get up. It was very nice. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
We're complimenting me getting up from a chair.
Yeah, Hayden's just looking for compliments at this
Yeah.
point.
Just trying to help my guy out here. Just trying to help him out.
Ryan Clark said that TJ Watt has moved into this discussion of best player in the world and best Steeler of all time. How do you feel about that?
He said that he joined the discussion, which I feel like could be fair, very fair to say. I mean, I feel like that's fair. I mean, dude, his stats just speak volumes. Like,
do they speak volumes?
Yeah, they're kind of like my college stats. I'm not gonna lie. Just if I played 7-8 years at Duquesne, which I
wait, you were trying to play 7 or 8 years at Duquesne.
I should have.
COVID year, he could have. I mean, I feel like there's been kids in school for like 8 years in college now. I mean, maybe
they probably would have forfeited the season. They weren't playing extra games.
You're coming to a Duquesne game this year.
You should do that. Live report from the Duquesne game. I would love that. Would be a great idea.
We might just host the Duquesne game in the backyard. Let's just do that.
Oh, okay.
In your backyard?
Yeah.
Your humble estate, dude. Don't go there, bro. Don't go there, bro.
Okay. Well, give me your Mount Rushmore of greatest Steelers of all time.
Oh. I mean, dude, I'm not 7.
You gonna put Jeff Reed?
7.
Yeah.
Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Joe Green.
Okay. There's one spot left. Or you want to go 5?
You said top 4.
I said Mount
Well,
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore's 4, I think, right? Is
Franco,
Franco. Okay.
and Christian
it?
Kuntz.
There he is. There he is. There he is.
I think we lost you.
There he is.
I think something went
Hey,
wrong with
who
this
did
internet.
Blueface ask for a jersey, Cab?
Huh?
Who did Blueface ask for a jersey first?
Oh yeah,
Me.
I like how you changed that first. I was gonna say Joey Porter Jr. Yeah, if I had to do my Mount Rushmore right now, obviously Joe Green's gonna be there. Troy. Ooh. You got to put 7 there.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, 7's got to be there. And then, man,
there's a lot
like,
of really.
You want to put somebody like from the 2000s, but then I look back and I'm like, shoot, you got to go 70s, and you got to put someone like Mel Blount,
Mike Webster,
Donnie Shell, dude. I went on a Nemacolin trip with Donnie Shell. He was in 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time Super Bowl champ. I mean, he was like an incredible safety.
Okay, let's not hear about your Nemacolin trip anymore, okay? Okay, the bye week is bye. Like, stop talking about your rich problems, okay?
I was just dropping facts on Donnie Shell, great Steeler.
Yeah, but how you not put Mel Blount? They changed the game because this dude was killing people at the line.
I agree. Mel Blount's probably.
Jack Lambert was pretty iconic for those teams too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, it's just a bunch of. I mean, do we mention Bettis?
No.
I mean, there's a bunch of guys. I mean, it's tough, man. That's a tough Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That is a tough. That is tough.
You know what's not going to be tough?
Here it goes. What?
Saying goodbye to you.
See you next
Thank
week.
you, Kuntz. We appreciate you coming on. That was a great segment, bud.
Hopefully I don't see you tomorrow.